Welcome to the Live from South College podcast. I'm your host, Kathleen Stockham. The Live from South College podcast is your source for all South College activity, including new student information, deep dives into our 100-plus programs and concentrations, tools of the trade, and even live on location from all of our campuses. Great interviews, and hear from South College students and alumni in their own words. From certificates all the way to doctoral degrees, catch up with Live from South College for the lighter side of helping your dreams find direction. Well, we're going to have a little fun today. Have you ever wanted to go back in time to speak to a younger you? Or maybe talk to someone who has already been in your shoes or walked in your path and is already out there working and doing what you want to do? Well, today we're going to do just that. I have invited a current Bachelor of Science Nursing Accelerated student and also an alumni of our Accelerated BSN program who is currently working as a registered nurse. We're going to have a candid and transparent conversation about the good, the bad, and the rewards amongst the really hard work for one of our toughest and largest programs at South College. For our Dream Meet Direction segment, which pairs a current student and an alumni from the same program, it is my pleasure to welcome BSN student Abigail and South College alumni and current ER nurse Carson to the program. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, thanks for being here. The Accelerated BSN is geared towards anyone with a bachelor's degree in another area, usually healthcare, and it provides a very focused curriculum of at least another 18 months of nursing instruction to prepare you to sit for the NCLEX licensure exam to become an RN. It's meant to go fast and to be challenging, and it's a great program to help prepare you for the rigors of not only the NCLEX, but for the challenges of being a true frontline healthcare worker. Okay, ladies, let's break it down. For both of you, we'll start with you, Abigail. What led you to choose nursing as your pathway?
The simplest way I can put it is I just love people. When I was younger, my grandmother, she was a nurse, and I would always hear how she talked about her patients, and she kind of imbued that love of people into me. And it's very funny because I actually used to carry Band-Aids on the playground in elementary school for the kids that would have fallen down.
Okay, I love that. Carson, what about you? What led you to choose nursing as your pathway?
My love for anatomy and physiology definitely was number one for me. When I was in my undergrad, I didn't know if I wanted to go to medical school, PA school, but definitely, Abigail, I can second that love for people. I really wanted to be hands-on with patients, and what other way to do that than be a nurse? It's kind of funny, actually. My grandma was also a nurse. She was in the OR for almost about 40 years, and hearing her tell stories as I was growing up about patients and crazy things she saw definitely influenced me to be a nurse for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Abigail, you're a current student, so why South College?
So when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to choose nursing, and I didn't have any idea where to start, where to look for a college. There were so many options. And so I called around to a couple places, and I really, really liked South College for two reasons. One, this class sizes were small, so I knew that I would get to know my professors and that I wouldn't just be a number on their roster. The second reason was that South College was the only place to call me back, check on me, and it's very evident that they care about the students here.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Carson, same question. Why South College?
For my undergrad, I was away from home for 4 years. South College, at least in Knoxville, was at home, could live with my parents, could be at home with them after being away from 18 to 22. And I liked the class size and how personal it was. That my class size was, 20, 30 people, but, the professors knew my name, clinical instructors knew my name, they knew where I was at, knew if I was struggling. Definitely that personal feel to my education was something I didn't get in a big school for my undergrad. I wanted definitely to switch it up.
Yeah, that's great. All right, so Carson, a question for you. For the accelerated program, it's accelerated. So truthfully speaking, was it really hard because it went so fast?
Yes, I mean, the speed definitely was a factor, but regardless if it was an 18-month program like the accelerated one is, or even a 24-month one, it's the same education. thankfully I learned a lot in my undergrad, knew how to write papers, knew how to study. But I think that the accelerated program, at least to me, in my opinion, is a lot more rewarding because you learn so much in such a short amount of time. I definitely felt ready at the end of 18 months to sit for my NCLEX, for sure.
And Abigail, how are you handling the speed of the program so far?
It can be daunting, but I got myself a good planner and a caffeine addiction, and we're handling it. Plus, there are so many good resources here at South College that helps you with that accelerated program.
Yeah, we cannot underestimate the power of caffeine.
That caffeine addiction will never go away.
All right, so Carson, go back in time to fifth quarter, which is rumored to be probably the hardest quarter with labs, tests, clinicals happening, everything going on at the same time. How did you survive it?
Planning. I literally had my life planned down week to week. That's all I could handle at the time. I would sit down either a Saturday night or a Sunday morning and be like, okay, what do I need to get done? What's due? What clinicals do I have? What tests are coming up? What's coming up the week after? I had a part-time job at the time, so working around class time with my work, with clinicals, whatever time I had in between, I had to know what to study, what to write, all of those things. Sleep didn't really factor in, but I got everything done. That's probably my biggest tip, is just like even taking it day by day sometimes, I think was probably the most critical, for sure. And for fifth quarter, they're going to test you. You're going to have to trust your gut and you're going to sit for tests, and you may not feel 100%, but that's the point, especially on the NCLEX, you don't know what questions are coming. You're going to have to trust your gut and be like, A, B, C, or D, pick one. What would you do if you were that nurse in their shoes next on the bedside? So that would be my tip for that, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, Abigail, how's it going?
It's definitely a whirlwind. And like Carson said, just taking it day by day at this point. I'm in my sixth quarter, my final quarter at this point. So it's a whirlwind of tests, preceptorship, and NCLEX prep. Though I will say we lost more people to quarter two than any other quarter.
So, wow. And it's just because they just struggled, or did they go back and start over? Or what happened, do you think?
It was quarter two is a lot really fast. In quarter one, they kind of carry you, they baby you sort of. They're like, hey, this is an introduction because this is all new. It's a different way of testing. And then in quarter two, they kind of just push you off the deep end. They're like, okay, have fun. And it's a lot of clinical and it's a lot of testing. And it's just from going from so simple to all of this so fast, it really gets a lot of people.
Second quarter definitely tests you as a student. Like the first quarter is like, here's how it works. We're going to hold your hand. Tests are kind of here. And then all of a sudden they're like, push you off the cliff. Bye. Hope you land on your feet. But that's the part of it, is when you hit the floor for a shift for 12 hours, especially in the ER, you don't know what you're walking into after you have your morning huddle. You can have, critical care patients over here, and then like your other part of your ER is running as an urgent care and they're stable. It's the same thing, as at least for me, is like you go take a report from somebody and they can hand you a certain set of patients and you have to hit the ground running.
So what it's doing is preparing you for the unknown, whatever you're walking into that day, and to be able to sort of time manage yourself depending on your patient load. Is that a fair statement?
And I can say that, especially even ER ICU can be that way. Any other specialty I cannot speak for, but at least in where I work, yes, it definitely is that way.
It teaches you how to be very adaptable, very fast.
Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to do it now. You can't just say, oh, give me a couple days. And it's very good because when you get into clinical experience, that's how it is. You have to adapt quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. So Carson, now that she's, rounding the corner into her sixth quarter, what useful tip or trick could you give Abigail at this point in the program to kind of help her finish it out? Like what advice do you have?
At this point in sixth quarter, you've taken all your classes. The biggest thing I can say is take as many multiple choice NCLEX questions as possible across all of your subjects. Don't just rely on, the materials the school gives you. I definitely recommend spending some money and maybe getting a different study tool, like a UWorld or an Archer Review, and broaden your question base. The questions on the NCLEX are definitely written different than what you're used to. I definitely would recommend. And just, I took hundreds of questions a week over and over and over again. That, but by the time I sat down for my NCLEX, I was kind of ready for anything. That would probably might be my biggest tip, and do more than what they're recommending for you to do based off where your scores and your tests have been and where your ATI stuff has been. That would probably be my biggest tip.
Yeah. Well, okay. I hope everybody caught that. Study more than you need to.
Yes.
All right, Abigail. So let's just kind of fast forward. Where do you see yourself in your first job? Like, where do you ultimately want to end up once you get past the NCLEX?
So labor and delivery is my heart and soul. I love it. It is just everything that I wanted to do. And I'm trying my best to get in there for a first job, because there are some hospitals that do hire new grad nurses into labor and delivery, but it is such a competitive area that I have already accepted a job in an oncology unit for the time being to get skills, because until I get where I want to be and can stay there, I'm going to get as many skills as I can to be as prepared as I can.
I can say that skills is something, at least for me in the ER, and especially for L&D, if you have an L&D triage unit where those mothers that are ready to give birth then and there, you're going to have to start lines on them. You're going to need to get the monitor on the baby as fast as possible, depending on how they're presenting and stuff like that. Hard skills. I can say I've been an ER nurse now for about 8 months. I feel very confident in like IV starts and getting patients on monitors and working them up within 15, 20 minutes. Those are the things you're going to need to get comfortable with. I think your choice, if you decide to stay in the oncology unit, would be good. 6 months to a year. And then after that, you can go wherever you want, for sure.
Yeah. All right. So, Carson, 8 months in the ER. Man, ER is a tough place. What's been the most challenging for you so far?
Most challenging for me was coming out of school. Going to the ER was definitely daunting and extremely challenging, but I wanted that. I wanted to be ER trained. I wanted to take all of my knowledge from South College, which is so broad and wide spanning because you have to take the NCLEX. The challenging thing for me is just kind of taking that, narrowing it down and making it specific for the ER. I've bought an ER nursing book, and I've been taking all the knowledge that I know and just kind of fine-tuning it to the ER to be the best ER nurse that I can. Getting confidence with cardiac drips and intubations and, conscious sedation and everything that we do in the ER has definitely probably been the most challenging, because that's not something we're like completely exposed to in nursing school, but that just comes with time and practice. And I thankfully have really great coworkers. I hope you have the same thing on the unit that you get onto, is finding great coworkers that you're not scared to ask questions. If you need help, they're there to help you. Nursing is a constantly adapting, learning field, professional field. Things are constantly going to be changing. But that would be probably the most difficult thing, is just kind of taking everything from school and making it ER specific, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right. So, ladies, level with me, both of you. What was the worst time you had in school? Abigail, I'll start with you. What's been the worst thing so far for you?
I feel like most people would say med-surg, but I actually didn't mind my med-surg clinicals. My worst time was probably my first patient fatality that I had experienced, and it just so happened that we were in the pediatric ICU. So that was probably my worst day, right when I got onto the unit.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. I can second with that. My very last day of my preceptorship, we had a patient who coded. I was the one that walked in the room. All the nurses were doing morning med pass. I walked into the room, and there's just something in your gut that tells you I need to press the code blue button, especially in your first time seeing that. I pressed it, and all the nurses came running, of course. But seeing a code firsthand in the room like that, it was not really fun to see, but B, it pushed me to go to the ER. Honestly, that was kind of like me pushing over the finish line. I was like, I really want to get good at this. This is what I want to get good at. And besides that, Adult Health 3 and Quarter 5 was probably my hardest class. I had a couple tests I didn't do great on. Losing that motivation just a little bit, because you get kind of discouraged. For me, at least, was like the hardest thing to like, I need to do more. I need to do more. What can I do to get better on that next test? That was probably the worst time.
Yeah. How'd you do on Adult Health 3?
I liked it. I'm a good test taker, so I'm not a fair assessment.
Teacher's pet. Okay.
The one class I struggled with, and by the end of it was fine, but there was a test or two. I was like, I knew the stuff, it just, the test did not go my way, but it happens.
Yeah. All right. So what was the best day? What was your best day?
Best day was passing my predictor and walking out of campus, and just the weight lifting off of my shoulders. Just being able to say, I passed my predictor, I'm ready to sit for the NCLEX.
Tell us what a predictor is for our listeners that don't know what that is.
Yeah, so our predictor is basically, how many questions is it, Abigail? I can't remember.
180?
It's like 180, 200 questions. You sit for a couple hours, and it tests everything you learned the entire course of nursing school. And for South specifically, you have to pass your predictor or you fail. That is the test you have to pass. You have to hit, I think it's an 80%.
74.
74%. I can't remember. It's all rolling. It's all blur at this point. You have to get over a 74. I think I got like an 86 or an 88 on that test, and I like blew it out of the water. I was so proud of myself. And just having that confidence of like, okay, I'm ready to take this test. I've been studying for it it feels like forever. That definitely was my best moment.
Yeah. All right, Abigail, what's been the best day so far? Today, right?
I haven't yet. Yes. No. I haven't passed my predictor yet, so I can't say that one. I'm sure that one will top this one. But so far, my best one was actually in quarter 2. I was in a med-surg clinical, and I got to follow this Elvis impersonator throughout day surgery. He was the best guy ever. He was amazing. And he only responded to Elvis when he was coming out of anesthesia. It was fantastic.
That was not my bingo card.
You see in the ER. Oh man, I'm jealous.
I got to follow him through, and he kept calling his guardian angel because I was his one constant as he changed hands. And at the very end, when we brought him out to his car, he gave me a big hug, and he was like, "Thank you. You helped me feel better." Mm-hmm. And that just completely reaffirmed the fact that I love nursing.
That is the most awesome story I have heard. Did he say thank you very much when you walked in?
Awesome. Let's say in the ER though, I'm used to so many patients in a 12-hour shift and getting those hugs and those thank yous either when they roll upstairs to go to their bed upstairs or when they get discharged. Those hugs, you'll never get sick of those. They really affirm you're where you're supposed to be. I can tell you that much.
So Carson, does that happen in the ER that a patient is like grateful for the care?
Yes. I mean, every patient has a different experience and a different personality, but there are truly, especially family members that are fully invested in their loved one in your stretcher, in your bed. Those are the sweetest thank yous and tearful eyes and hugs that you're going to get, whether they're going up to the ICU, they're getting discharged. Those family members, to me, they make me emotional. Not even the patient, it's the family that when they're really, truly grateful, then they will tell you about it. And that gets you, sometimes that gets me through a shift, and I can take that home with me. And it affirms that where I am, where I'm supposed to be. So
that's amazing. Well, I'm going to ask you about your favorite clinical or coolest thing, but I don't know if you can top the Elvis impersonator story. Any other awesome clinical experience you've had?
I have one that's more funny.
Okay, let's hear it.
It was, I ended up not drinking water the whole clinical shift, which is a bad idea. Never do that. And I passed out inside of a patient room. I walked out, and the nurse looks at me. She goes, "How's everything going?" And I look at her, and I just go, "Huh." And then I went down.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Drink water.
Yes, drink water. All nurses are nursing students. A PSA, drink your water.
Yeah, what she said. Yes, that's it. Oh, my goodness.
It can be hard. Any nursing unit, you're on your feet for 12 hours. It can be hard to stop and eat or stop and drink. It happens to me.
Yeah.
At work. So that's funny.
Oh, my gosh. Well, Abigail, so a question. Now's your chance. What's the one big question you have for an alumni?
What was it like for you when you were trying to get that first job?
I was looking online, and I eventually just went to the hospital I work at, the recruiter, and I said, I want this, and this. You let me know what you have available. And thankfully, they did have an ER spot on day shift. I got very lucky. I was able to get that. and just trusting the process. And I prayed about it and hoping that you get a good unit, good people, a good manager. It really is just trusting. And the great thing about nursing is you do your time, jobs are always available. You can always switch your specialty and learn more and do all the things, but definitely just trusting the process about getting your first job. And for you, especially with your oncology unit, you will get all the skills that you need. Just trusting the process, I think, would be my biggest tip for sure. No first job is going to be perfect, but just taking what you can from there and moving on if you need to would be my biggest tip for sure.
Yeah, that works. All right, ladies. Besides coffee, which it's a given, we've already established that earlier in the podcast that caffeine is number one. What is the other must-have item or snack for getting through a shift or studying? What for both of you? What is that must-have item?
For me, I had a small whiteboard in my lap when I was studying. All I had at the time was a laptop. I didn't have my iPad or anything. I would do my medication calculations and dosing stuff on my whiteboard, or it's me writing down over and over and over again something I need to memorize, and just having that. Because I didn't want to go through paper, but having that whiteboard on me while I was studying was definitely my number one tool that I used besides anything that was online or anything like that. Just getting that tactile studying feeling was definitely super important when they give you that scratch paper for tests, and like it's muscle memory at that point, and you get all that information down and you can take that test. That was probably my biggest help with testing in nursing school.
All right, Abigail, what is it? What's the item?
Headphones. Invest in a good pair of headphones with noise canceling, because I don't know about anybody else, but my house gets loud. We have dogs, they bark, and when you're trying to study, you're thinking, oh my goodness, is this ever going to end? So good noise canceling headphones is just essential.
I like that. All right. Abigail, if you could go back and talk to your quarter one, quarter two self, what advice would you give you at quarter one and quarter two that you know now?
It gets worse. Don't cry now. It gets worse.
Don't cry now. Okay. Got it. All right, Carson, if you could go back and talk to your quarter four and quarter five self, what advice would you give yourself?
Quarter four and quarter five, trust the process. Don't get discouraged based off one test score. Don't get discouraged off maybe a clinical experience or a nurse that told you something or told you how something's not supposed to be or something like that. Like, you're going to be your own nurse. You're going to be by yourself eventually. Like, don't lean on other people. Like, make sure you know what you're going to know. That definitely would be necessary in the job that I have now. Just trust the process, because you're going to get there when you get there, and you're going to pass when you're going to pass, and you decide what kind of nurse you're going to be.
Interesting. Well, nursing has kind of its own crisis going on, in that there are not enough nurses to meet the demand, as both of you already know. From each of your perspectives, both as a current student and a former student, what advice do you have for anyone considering nursing, in particular, thinking of the Accelerated BSN program after they've obtained a degree in something else? What advice do you have for someone who's thinking of the Accelerated program?
Do it. We always need more nurses, and it is the most rewarding experience you'll have. It has to be a hard work. And all different people of all different backgrounds are so needed, because what you will just have that one patient who you can connect with on a deeper level because you've had similar experiences.
Yeah, that's great. All right, Carson, what do you think? What advice do you have for someone considering the Accelerated programs, particularly since you came from a different school and then came to South College?
Yeah, I would second of what Abigail said, is just do it. If you're even thinking about going into nursing when you already have that undergrad degree, definitely dive in and just start and just do it. It is rewarding to, I'm ready to sit my NCLEX in 18 months. Let's do it. I can be a nurse soon. And those 18 months really, truly do fly by. There are aspects of nursing school I absolutely miss, and hanging out with my classmates and my friends every day, literally seeing them every single day. And those people, Abigail, definitely don't take that for granted. Any friendships that you've made, I still talk to those people on a weekly or monthly basis, and we talk about our experience being new grad nurses. The friendships that you're going to make in school are sometimes going to be lifetime, and you're always going to have that person that you're bonded to in nursing school wise that you can rely on and talk to about everything that you do at work, and no one else is going to understand. So definitely just dive in and do it. Those relationships, and of course, South College is fantastic. Their alumni association and all the things they offer as an alum are fantastic as well. And they're always going to be there to support you.
Wow. Well, thank you both for this really candid and eye-opening conversation representing the two sides of being both a student and an alumnus for the same program. Plus, we managed to fit in Elvis into this podcast, which again was not on my bingo card, but I love that. This was amazing. I hope everyone listening gets a little something out of this conversation and some great information shared. I want to thank both of you for joining me in this first of a series conversation called Dream Meet Direction. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that was awesome. And just a reminder, when it's time to consider more education, South College has an amazing and all online Master of Science nursing program. Ladies, pay attention. We have a fabulous set of MSN programs for you, including family nurse practitioner with several concentrations, which also include adult gerontology, acute care, nurse practitioner, psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner, and the new MSN concentration with nursing informatics. In addition, we have a brand new Doctor of Nursing Practice program, which is now in the innovative CBE format, and also a DNP with a concentration in nurse anesthesia. So buckle up. Your future in nursing starts here at South College. I want to thank my two guests. Coming up after the break, a little more on nursing at South College and all the avenues you can pursue. Stick around. We'll be right back.
When you start your new career path at South College, you'll join students from different walks of life at varying stages in their lives. Many students are going back to school to finish degrees, while others are pursuing elevated education that will help them improve their potential in their current roles or for chasing a new direction. South College offers over 100 programs and concentrations with specialized focus on associate, bachelor's, master's, educational specialist, and doctoral degrees in healthcare, business, technology, education, and legal studies. We are regularly developing new academic programs based on local, regional, and national trends. Each curriculum is designed to promote development of knowledge and skills in the associated discipline as we challenge and support our students. South College is committed to providing intellectual, social, and professional development to a diverse student body. With locations in Knoxville, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee, Atlanta, Georgia, Asheville, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Indianapolis, Indiana, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Dallas, Texas, and Marietta, Georgia, as well as programs delivered through Competency-Based Education, or CBE, and online. We're here with you every step of the way, starting with the admissions process. To find out more, visit South College at south.edu. South College, where dreams find direction.
Welcome back. You just heard from a Bachelor of Science nursing student and an alumnus from the same program. Want to learn a little bit more about the Accelerated BSN program? Well, do you already have a bachelor's degree or about to obtain one in another healthcare discipline? If you do, and have considered a more direct path to nursing, our Accelerated BSN may be the option for you. This 18-month program, available at our Knoxville, Nashville, Atlanta, and Asheville campuses, is a fast-paced bachelor-level program that prepares the nursing student for the rigors and demands of becoming possibly a licensed RN, and also prepares you for the NCLEX licensing exam. Labs and on-site clinicals will be required. Prerequisite classes may also be required. Perhaps you need a little flexibility. South College offers the 4-year Bachelor of Science in Nursing as a hybrid program as well in Knoxville, Nashville, Atlanta, Orlando, and Asheville campuses. This unique hybrid program allows for specific days and weekend classes on site, while you can live anywhere in the state for the rest of the didactic portion to complete online. Medical facilities for your labs and clinicals can be arranged to be closer to home. Some restrictions do apply. Or Maybe you're looking for something a little bit different. South College offers the 2-year Associate of Science in Nursing program, which also enables you to sit for the NCLEX exam. Or maybe you want to explore a more unique side of patient care with the LPN program. We have several bridge programs for LPN as well. Their certificate in licensed practical nursing is offered at several of our campuses. And stay tuned, more nursing programs are coming. And one last thing, are you already holding a master's degree in nursing and a licensed RN and ready for the next step? Consider our Doctor of Nursing Practice Postmasters now in the super flexible CBE format. If you are a working nursing professional and ready for an opportunity to take you deeper into administrative and research leadership, consider the DNP program, where the competency-based education format allows you to go as fast or as slow as you need to using an innovative 6-month subscription plan. Not sure where to get started? Go to south.edu to see more information. Select the Academics tab at the top and then select Nursing. Or see all of our programs for nursing at south.edu/department/nursing. There is also a helpful video that explains a lot about our programs. Well, that's it for today. With campuses in 7 states, plus online and CBE, there is a pathway for you at South College. Hope you enjoyed this latest episode of Live from South College. Thanks for joining me. We have a lot of great guests coming up very soon that I am really excited about. If you love it, give us some stars, and you can always send us feedback by emailing us at southcollegepodcast@south.edu. Have an awesome day and let your dreams find direction. See you next time.